All right, with that, let's get on to our last speaker from Gelita. Lara Niemann supports global marketing and innovation for the beauty category at Gelita. Lara is a marketing expert with the company specializing in their gelatin and collagen peptide portfolios. Today, she will bust some myths about collagen peptides in cosmeceutical products. So with that, take it away, Lara.
All right, thank you, Karen. Let's bring this home. So for the last about 150 years, Gelita has been focused on improving quality of life through specializing in collagen peptides, and gelatin. And one ingredient in our portfolio, Vericel Bioactive Collagen Peptides, has been changing the face of beauty since its launch in 2012. Now, before we bust some myths and before we talk about Vericel, let's first talk about what we know about collagen in the skin. So we know that about 75% of the body's skin is comprised of naturally occurring collagen in the human body. It's responsible for elasticity, nail health, even hair thickness. In both men and women, our collagen production peaks in our mid-20s. And from there on out, it's a downhill slide where we are losing about 1% of our collagen production year on year. And that rate becomes even more pronounced in postmenopausal years. Now, as that collagen production declines, we certainly see and feel the effects. We get fine lines and wrinkles, brittle nails, cellulite, thinning hair, all the ick, right? Here, collagen peptide supplementation is good for the body. And let's talk a little bit about why. So the fibroblasts, the cells of the skin, look a little bit like this splat. Let's use our imagination. And now let's compare the cells of the skin, the fibroblasts, let's compare them to a car, or more specifically, the engine of our car. Now, much like our cars, these cells require fuel or electricity, in the case of electric cars, to even have a chance at performing. In the cells, this fuel, so to speak, can be delivered by way of collagen peptide supplementation, where we get amino acids and di and tripeptides. Those are things that are fueling the cell. Now, also like cars or our engines, there's often a tuning or chip tuning in the sophisticated cars that is required for ultimate performance and efficiency. Now here, certain bioactive collagen peptides are providing that tuning to give the cells optimum performance and efficiency. Now, all of this will make a whole lot more sense in just a little bit. But in the meantime, let's talk about what we know. We know there's a lot of misinformation in the space of collagen peptides, especially in the nutricosmetics market. And some of our speakers spoke to that earlier. It leaves consumers dazed, confused, and frustrated. And that's the last thing we want. So now that we know the basics of collagen and how and why it functions in the skin, let's talk about some of the most common statements that we hear in the world of collagen peptides in nutricosmetics. And then we can discuss if it's fact, fiction, or somewhere in between. So 3 of the statements that we often hear is that collagen peptide bioavailability equals bioactivity. We also hear that collagen peptides are dependent upon raw material and or collagen type for cell stimulation. And then we hear that all collagen peptides are basically the same. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at this first statement. Bioavailability equals bioactivity. Now, like many of you, I can consult with Webster's Merriam, and what I find in the dictionary is that bioavailability is the degree and rate at which a substance is absorbed into a living system and made available. Bioactivity, on the other hand, is the ability of a substance to have an effect on a living organism. It's to be active. So already we can sense that these words are different. Now, the simple fact is that collagen peptides, which are purified or denatured protein fractions that come from animal sources, they're broken down in the gut into their individual amino acids or di and tripeptides, and they continue their journey throughout the body, and they're made available as fuel, so to speak. Now, all collagen peptides are highly digestible. A lot of the literature for years shows about a 99% digestibility. And indeed, they're bioavailable, but not all are bioactive. not all collagen peptides have the ability to tune the engine of that cell. So what we know about collagen peptide mode of action, right? It's orally ingested. It goes to and through the bloodstream where it ultimately, right, reaches the fibroblasts, the cells of the skin. It's bioavailable. It's giving the cells fuel. There is a class of bioactive collagen peptides that arrive at the cell in an intact form. And what those specific bioactive collagen peptides do is they interact with the cell to give the additional benefit of stimulation, which leads to more collagen production. That's what we call the tuning of the cell. So based on this information, I think you will agree that bioavailability does not equal bioactivity. They are indeed different. Now, the next statement that we often hear is collagen peptides are dependent upon raw material and or collagen type for cell stimulation. So the other thing we know is that collagen peptides come from animals, whether it's from mammals, bovine or porcine, fish or poultry. And while there might be slight differences in the amino acid composition between these sources, all collagen peptides from raw material sources offer nearly the same grade of fuel or the same amino acids. But remember, the amino acids are not responsible for tuning the cell. Now, when it comes to collagen type, we know that there are about more than 28 collagen types that exist in nature, and distribution in the human body is really complex. Now, to create collagen peptides from the above mentioned raw material sources, whether those sources are type 1, type 2, or type 3, the hydrolysis process to get from collagen to collagen peptide is essentially unfolding the collagen rope. And what happens then is that the collagen types become essentially undone. So once in the form of peptides, collagen types cannot be identified. And when they're no longer identified, we can't talk about their efficacy on cell stimulation. So based on this information, again, I think you could agree that we're going to bust the myth. Cell stimulation is not dependent upon the raw material or collagen type of the collagen peptide. Okay. So the last statement we're going to dive into is that all collagen peptides are the same. You probably know the answer to that already, but let's go through the exercise. There are, of course, certain global and regulatory standards for collagen peptides, whether it's safety, purity, traceability. But beyond that, the spectrum of collagen peptides varies widely. And it's important to say the right collagen peptide for your beauty brand may differ depending on what you want or need for your brand and for your target consumers. Do you require beauty-specific positioning, or are you looking for more general health and wellness? Do you require ingredient-specific scientific support with published studies? Do you require ingredients that have proven efficacy at the cellular level? Do you have dosing requirements? The list of questions is endless and, again, can differ from company to company. I want to be really clear here. Collagen supplementation, any collagen peptide supplementation is good for the body, if for no reason other than the delivery of fuel or those amino acids to the cells. But let's take another look at our splatty fibroblast cell. Now, to function well, these fibroblasts require a healthy external environment. That environment is known as the extracellular matrix. And this matrix contains the goodies of the skin: elastin, proteoglycans, hyaluronic acid, and collagen. This matrix is using the amino acids, the fuel, that are delivered by collagen peptides, all collagen peptides. Now, next on the cell, there's a large family of cell surface receptors. These are called integrins. They look like the little antennas. And these integrins act as the cell's broadcasters. They're quite discerning, and they're listening for molecules that are designed to tune the cell. Now, in the case of standard collagen peptides, there are often random fragments, and those are like di and tripeptides that are trying to interact with those receptors. But these peptides aren't specifically tuned in to talk the receptor language. They do become fuel for the tank, so they're still serving a purpose. Now, on the other hand, we have Verisol bioactive collagen peptides, again, the delivery of those same amino acids and diatripeptides that become fuel for the tank. But the Verisol bioactive collagen peptides are designed with a unique fingerprint, so to speak. And they are designed to fit perfectly with that integrin, with that cell receptor. And once they connect with that receptor, the receptor gets to work and starts sending signals through the cell. It's becoming tuned, and it's prompting that cell to produce more of that extracellular matrix and to use efficiently the fuel that is in the tank, so to speak. So that creates this positive feedback loop for healthier skin. Virtually all of the Verisol is used by the body, right? It's digestible, it's bioavailable, it delivers the amino acids and di and tripeptides, the fuel to the cells. But on top, because of the uniquely designed peptide that interacts with the integrin, it's able to offer the cell that special tuning. So based on that, in a nutshell, I think we can also agree that not all collagen peptides are the same. And part of how we know that is based on data from the Collagen Research Institute in Kiel, Germany. I would say globally renowned collagen experts. And here, the Collagen Research Institute studied different ingredients, Verisol compared to other bioactive collagen peptides, standard collagen peptides, di and tripeptides, or individual amino acids. And what is clearly shown here is that some of the other ingredients do have some effect. I think we could say that they're bioavailable. They might be doing something, but certainly they're serving as fuel. Verisol, on the other hand, with its pronounced effect, and because of that special fingerprint of peptide, it's doing something more. It's stimulating more collagen production in the cell. It's offering that tuning to the cell. So really simply said, Verisol is delivering more of the right thing to the right place to do the right thing. So it's not a matter of more is better. It's delivering the right thing. And based on that, the clinically studied and effective dose of Verisol is 2.5 grams, much lower than that of many other collagen peptides that are recommending 5, 10, or even more grams per day. And of course, lower dosing is often more economical for brand owners through lower cost in use, lower transportation and warehousing costs, less packaging, less shelf space, all that good stuff. And of course, lower dosing is certainly more convenient for consumers. On top of the in vitro work, the 6 Verisol-specific published clinical studies show effectiveness, efficacy in solving some of the beauty industry's most nagging issues, from fine lines and wrinkles to cellulite to stronger nails to thicker hair. So in summary, I would encourage you to not succumb to some of the common collagen peptide myths. Remember that collagen peptides generally don't differ in bioavailability, but they certainly differ in bioactivity. Collagen peptides are not dependent upon raw material or collagen type for cell stimulation. And because of all that, we can say that not all collagen peptides are the same. So as you consider the right collagen peptide for your beauty brand, work with your suppliers, get answers to the tough questions that you have, and see how the boxes get checked, and then compare that to what Verisol can offer. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Karen, to lead us through the Q&A.